All right, here's a few news stories I thought were interesting. This one's I've been seeing getting a lot of people excited. There is an Exchange 0 day under attack. Microsoft 0 day means there is no patch available. Microsoft has not made a patch available yet. They say they will soon, and that is related to a couple of flaws from last year, but it lets people install software on the server. And one thing that's interesting is all the servers that are infected in this current attack connect to this IP address, 137.184.67.33, which is hard-coded in the binary. So that is a useful indicator of compromise. If you're taking the incident response class, we talk about this a lot. You could scan your network to see if someone's connecting to that address, and that would help you find the infected machines. And Microsoft does not have a patch, but they do have some recommended workarounds, ways to put on a blocking rule which prevents servers from accepting known patterns. And this is why you have defense in depth. This is why you have defenses like firewalls and antivirus, so that even if you have a flaw that has not been patched, you can catch some attacks with those other layers of defenses. Tesla has announced a robot. Now this, people are saying this looks remarkably primitive compared to the General Dynamics robots that have been showing off for the last several years. But the point of this one, those things were incredibly expensive, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. This one is intended to be sold at a reasonable price so normal people can buy it. But I must say, it doesn't seem to do much. It seems to walk slowly and carefully. It doesn't do much in the way of dancing or anything. So anyway, it's but it's a Tesla product, so we'll see what comes of it, and of course I'm sure it will improve. AI is definitely here. I see amazing things coming from artificial intelligence, and robots are coming up really fast too. So it won't be much longer before we see these robots all over the place doing things, especially because of the gigantic worker shortage in America, and I think other countries too. Ever since the pandemic, everybody is struggling immensely to get enough staff to staff their stores, and I think many people are going to be turning to robots since they can't get enough people. This is an interesting claim. Michael McFaul is a professor. I hear him on TV all the time, an expert in military matters, and he claims someone is impersonating him with a deep fake. And at this phone number, they're calling people pretending to be him, and he says they have an AI-generated deepfake that looks and talks like him, and he says this is a Russian weapon of war. He doesn't have proof that it's the Russians, although many people have been saying that we can expect a lot of cyber attacks on America because of the Ukraine war. Putin is in big trouble. He's been losing the war very badly. He ran out of soldiers. He's been conscripting a ton of soldiers from his own people. And he's very unpopular for doing that. And so they said he'll probably use cyber as another way to punch back on people. Yeah, Glow has a point. The alternative would be to pay a living wage. That's an option. But even people that have increased the prices are having trouble getting workers now. Anyway, so this story has been going on for years. It is incredible. There were some journalists who covered eBay and published articles exposing bad things about eBay, and executives at eBay then hired people to go harass them in incredible ways, delivering horrible products to them, stalking them, following them around, putting pictures of them, threatening their families. It was amazing. It's in the middle of a book, a bloody pig mask, a fetal pig, live insects. This went on until they drove these people nuts, and they all got caught. This was people, it was just like that, putting a horse head in their bed. It was just crazy stuff. And so anyway, this came out a few years ago, and these guys have been in court, and now this guy got like 5 years in prison for it. A whole bunch of people are going to jail for this. It's just amazing how crazy people get. And it kind of makes me think, you know, if you've seen people get in a flame war online, on Twitter or something, where they just start insulting each other and saying outrageous things, it seems like that kind of thinking spilled over into the real world, where you just do crazy things that any sensible person would say, look, whatever your argument is it can't possibly justify this kind of reaction. That's similar to road rage. People who are otherwise normal will just get super upset about being cut off at a red light or something and actually get out and start beating people up and such. So Chrome is adding something to the Chrome. Google is adding to the Chrome browser a feature which will limit what extensions can do. And the problem is they appear to be doing it in a very bad way, at least according to this article. What they're doing is they're preventing an extension from intercepting and modifying your web traffic. And the idea is perhaps that that's for your security, but they are not stopping it from intercepting and examining your web traffic, which is what the criminals do. They steal your passwords by having an extension that examines your web traffic, and they're letting that be okay. They're just blocking it from modifying the web traffic, which is what ad blockers do. And they claim this is really because Google makes their money selling ads, and they don't want to let ad blockers work. So they're going to end the entire category of software of current ad blockers by putting them in a much more limited system that really won't effectively block the ads. So we'll see what comes of that. Certainly, one good thing, of course, is even if that turns out to be as bad as this article says, there's other browsers to use. So that would be the thing to do. Use Firefox or something. Yeah, Firefox, Opera, Safari, Internet Explorer, there are other browsers. So this is kind of amazing, but it's only one patient. Yeah, I'm using Brave. I use a whole lot of different browsers though, but mostly Brave. This person had tumors, and they took CBD oil and some other recreational drug, which was supposed to help your cancer. Let me see if I can find what it was. It was CBD oil and mushrooms. And the CBD oil apparently does not make you high. I didn't know about this. I see everybody, but it contains other elements from marijuana that are supposedly good for you. And they said it did make the cancer completely shrink away and go away. And when she stopped taking it, it came back. So anyway, this is only one patient. It may just be a coincidence or something, but it does suggest that there may be some real cancer-fighting properties in those drugs, and they've had a suggestion of that before for certain cancers. So that's interesting. So another story of spying. This is, let me make sure this is from this year. Okay. So this has happened over and over and over again, that people put spying software to spy on what kids are doing, or spy on what students are doing. And here they, this one here, I think, infected the machines and other things they were connected to, and they started finding out what people were doing to an outrageous extent. A lot of schools use monitoring software. One new type of monitoring software is they try to monitor everything students say on social networks to try to decide if they've become suicidal or something, which is related to insider threat software that some corporations are using. Anyway, it's a big issue. There's a lot of people, companies, and schools spying on people, and it has a good side and a bad side. See, a bunch of friends have been pushing CBD oil as an anti-carcinogenic. Yeah, that's right. Seemed to work in my family. Yeah, a lot of people have been pushing CBD oil as anti-carcinogenic. So I don't know. That's interesting. I didn't take any CBD oil and I had cancer. So I don't know anyway. That's not a very good data point. All right, so this is what I know. I've been preparing classes in blockchain cybersecurity and smart contract cybersecurity, and when I go to conferences, they don't get much attention yet, which is madness, But anyway, I'm observing the same thing everybody's observing. The cryptocurrency space is getting hacked over and over again to an insane extent. There will come a time when they actually develop some interest in securing things. Of course, now it's mostly speculators just trying to get rich. But anyway, yeah, I appear to be over it. So that's good. Anyway, so they now have a list of the current hacks, which are pretty incredible. This one called Beanstalk was hacked, and they usually are hacked for very simple reasons, sometimes through flaws in the smart contract, sometimes just because they leave a password lying around. Often, one of the interesting ones, the one that happened to Beanstalk, was from a flash loan. You can borrow money with the rule being that you keep it only for like a few seconds and then give it back in the next block. So you can borrow an incredible amount of money that way, and that's what someone did. They borrowed $1 billion for just a few seconds, which you can do with cryptocurrency. And then they used $1 billion to buy so much of Beanstalk that they were able to own the platform. They were basically 51% attack, where they control more than half of the votes. So there's a lot of these types of attacks, goofy attacks that are possible in the cryptocurrency space. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, people say mushrooms are also supposed to be fighting cancer. That's why this person took CBD oil and mushrooms, both supposed to stop cancer, and apparently it worked. Facebook, I think this is a bit extreme to call it a death spiral, but Facebook is in big trouble. Now, all the tech sector is in trouble. Just along with cryptocurrency, it's fallen by a lot, like more than half. But Facebook seems to be falling really a lot, really fast. They're shrinking for the first time ever. They've been growing like crazy. Is this blurry? Let me know if it's blurry for everybody. I could probably increase the quality of it at this end. Tell me if other people see it as blurry. The machine I use at the college, I switched to run on a higher bandwidth. It's fine. Okay, good. Let me know. Okay, it seems to be fine for the students. Let me know if it's not, because I can adjust things, and I only know your quality when you tell me. Maybe you just need to refresh your browser then to get it to sharpen up. Sometimes that happens. Anyway, Zuckerberg, apparently Facebook is falling in popularity, and their problem is, although Facebook has been growing really fast for years, it's now stopped growing and is shrinking, and the problem is they're not appealing to the next generation. Younger generation is mostly on TikTok and other things, and Facebook is not considered cool and exciting for the younger generation, and that means it can't keep growing. So he's trying to go push everything on the metaverse, and so far everybody thinks Zuckerberg's metaverse is terrible. Everybody inside the company and outside it. Is there a client setting for video quality? Yeah, that'd be good. I'm glad you folks have figured this out. Anyway, so Facebook, certainly its stock is going down, and people are getting upset about it. Oh, good, Refresh fixed it. Anyway, so it's a thing to know, although I don't think Facebook is going to die, but I think it's going to become less significant as it moves forward. And it has been far too significant and far too unethical in what they do. So it's probably a good thing for Facebook to decline. So I'll stop this news.